How's it going, YouTube? It's Lucas here from DVD205 channel, and today I have a video on this. What is this? Well, I mean, you can probably guess this isn't really much of a modeling channel. I don't really feature very many models on here. So, this is something that I took and made it go. I mean, kind of. The motor is weak when pulling a trailer, but it works fine. So, this is a Maisto Tow and Go classic squareback. There's a bunch of different models at Walmart I found. They're really actually quite nice looking models, and they're really well put together. Aside from the fact that this is die-cast and this isn't, but whatever. So I saw that, and I had that for a while just because I know that it was a really cool chassis, even though a really cool looking model, even though, I mean, I could have gone with any of the other cars that were actually pictured on the box, you know, like the 57 Chevy. Or I could be wrong with that, and that couldn't be a 57 Chevy, but I don't know. That's what it looks like to me, and I'm ignorant. So, and a little while ago, I saw at a thrift store at Salvation Army, and they had this little tiny Adventure Force micro thing. This is specifically the Jeep Gladiator one that just recently came out. It was like $5, which it's $10 at Walmart still. You can find both of these at Walmart. $5, and it worked. I wouldn't really expect anything different, but I mean, it had everything with it. It was cheap enough. So I got that originally, and then I was looking at the wheelbase because I wanted to make something like this into an RC, and having it with a trailer would be even cooler. I looked at the wheelbases, and they're pretty much perfect. There may be like a hair too long, whatever. Yeah, as long as you get the car, or the car of the RC Adventure Force thing that matches the wheelbase of this car, it works, I guess. Now the only thing is that this still has the headlights and taillights of what would fit on the Adventure Force, or what would go on the Adventure Force little microcar thing. But, I mean, it still works, but this does not have translucent headlights or taillights, so light doesn't get through. It just kind of emanates from underneath the car, which looks cool enough. Now, you will have to take out the entirety of the chassis of this, which is just 2 screws. You lift it off, whatever. You have to do a little bit of trimming to the back end so that you can keep this little trailer hitch area, and then you have to take the 2 screws off of the Adventure Force RC, and then trim a little bit of the chassis. Just basically take a sandpaper to the little circuit board and stuff on here, and make sure that you don't take out anything important, because the first time I did it, I completely annihilated the steering, so that didn't work anymore, as I cut off too much of the circuit board. So, this is it really zoomed in, actually. It's very small, but I keep trying to point at it like it's really far away. Yeah. So, so I did that, and it fits. It would have fit a little bit better, but there's a body screw post right about here, and the end of the chassis for this thing goes like here, so you can finagle it to fit if you trim out just the body post on here, and it would sit about right. But I kind of like even though it's not an American car, I do kind of like the gasser look of that, even though the the front end is higher than the rear. It looks like it's actually towing the trailer. So, and it would be a station wagon like this, or apparently squareback. Yeah, VW 1600. So yeah, I don't know if this would work with all of the vehicles. I just know that it works with some. You might have some difficulty with this car with the whole covered rear tires. The chassis for the Adventure Force is a lot wider than this car, so it's going to be raked a lot. And, I mean, you can Dremel out the tires, obviously, and, like, sand out the wheel arches, but Do you have to go to the litter box right now, kitty cat? Either way. So, yeah, I just did that, and you don't have to do this, but it's just ease of transportation and stuff, so I can all fit it in the box and not worry about it. This was the controller. The controller was originally looking like a game controller with 2 sticks coming out, and I took off all of that stuff and just left it with the battery box and the circuit board. I did have to glue down this to the posts and stuff on here to get it to actually stay, but this is really as small as you can get the controller. Hold on, my cats are being really weird. I guess that didn't take very long. Anyway, this is really as small as you can get the controller without taking off major parts of the circuit board, but this will fit enough if you do a lot of trimming to this part and you actually want to keep it in the box. You do have to take out this square box part back here, and you will have to trim out whatever shape your car is up here and then back from here so that you can just slot the car in. I would recommend taking much care into that because you can definitely tell what is cut out, and it doesn't look very good to have the car going here and then this like empty space back here. It does not look very good, but I just deal with it anyway. So having the vehicle by itself works well enough anyway. It works about the same, even though the Gladiator shell is significantly less weight than the die-cast one. But once you add the trailer, it slows it down significantly. Your turning radius goes down significantly. You know, how you'd expect a vehicle with a trailer to act. I just didn't know that it would do it with this. Because this is a very lightweight trailer. There's the only part that's metal that is down here. But yeah. Otherwise, I should mention this, but I did have to take off the front bumpers and glue them down to the body. It just makes it look a lot better for me anyway. So I did keep the bumpers on here. You will have to glue them onto the body, and they don't just sit nicely with the entire chassis and stuff. There's no way that I know of to keep much of the interior, because there was actually a really nice interior set that went in here. But given that the circuit board sticks up pretty well, pretty much to the windows, I mean, you might be able to save some, but depending on what car you get, you can also have it opening tailgate or rear gate. You can kind of see there's some room in there. There's just not a whole lot, so you'd have to take out a lot of it just to have the illusion of interior. And it doesn't really bother me any, because who's really gonna look in there? I mean, annoyingly enough, well, not annoyingly, nicely enough, this is all plastic and translucent. You can see through this. It looks nice. It's got even the butterfly windows, but this has no windows or anything in it. Probably because this is pretty much the impossible camper design, because I don't really know how this would be laid out. Like, you just walk in, and the bedroom should be up here, unless if it isn't. I mean, I get the campers can be rearranged, but like, unless the bed is back here, I guess they didn't want to put that much effort into thinking about how that would be laid out, even though this has the most amount of windows. Or window coverage. So yeah. There also is no way that I know of to get the white wall tires on here. As long as you know how to get the tires off of here, I guess you can try. They might be the same axle size. But these are mushroomed on back here for this, so I can't imagine you'd be able to do that. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. That's all I have to say for this. I don't really know if I could take out just take a little tiny drill bit and get some tiny LEDs in here. I might be able to. I would love to have a full light, like turn signals and stuff, but there's not really much of a way of doing that from what I know of on this scale with not highly grade stuff. Anyway, I'm fairly simplistic with my projects, so if I have to wire up anything specifically, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I suppose I probably should have done a review of the actual Adventure Force car before I made a video on how I converted it instantly into this. But, yeah. And in case you didn't realize, this is the charging cable thing. You plug this in the bottom of the car while the car is off, and it charges it from the controller. So you don't have to worry about charging it separately. Even though that this is technically the wrong end for this, I don't know. Just know that you can't that a lot of the controllers aren't cross-compatible. Charging-wise, anyway. So, yeah. That's about all I have for this video. So, yeah. Lucas out. Bye, YouTube.